Hi everyone, Dr. Anna here, and this time I'm gonna help you with the geologic time lab. This here is the lab itself. Remember, we went through the principles, we went through the different rock symbols in the previous helping video, and now we are ready to jump in to see what's going on. So I'm gonna go to the first problem right here. Okay, so this is the first problem. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Okay, like right there. This is perfect. And I will write the times and the letters of the different timing right next to it. Okay, so let's look at the rock symbols here. This here, the T, is an igneous. You see, it's an igneous rock. And not just this T, but as well as the T, the P here is also an igneous rocks. Everything else is sedimentary. Remember, when you have igneous rock touching sedimentary rocks, that's going to be a non-conformity. And of course, on this side, this is all non-conform. Wherever igneous rock contacting sedimentary rocks, those are all non-conformities. Okay, so there is another really interesting thing we see here. There is this fault line, the A. See, that's the A fault line right here. Now, you can see that it actually faulted all the rocks, the granite, the A granite, the M, the L, and the K. But it didn't go any further. So for a fact, we know that the oldest rock here is going to be the P, the granite. See, it's not T because T goes through all the way to J, W, and all that rocks. So we know that that is younger than the P. So P is the oldest, and then comes, and we always have to write it from the oldest rocks, right? Oldest to youngest. You never go youngest to oldest. It's always oldest to youngest. So after the P comes the M, which is like a sandstone. After that, the silt, the L. Then comes the K. All these layers were faulted by this A fault. So after the K, because A fault did not go into anywhere else, we know that it came after the K layer. That is the fault line right there, A fault. After the fault, there is a unconformity right here. And if I ask you what kind of unconformity, what you have to see that these layers here coming up with an angle. So I hope that you see that that unconformity is an angular unconformity. After the unconformity comes R, J, and W. So R, J, and W. You see that? Then what happens? This T, this intrusion comes in, and we know it comes in right there because it went all the way to this unconformity here. You see? This here is an unconformity. There was erosion. You can see the igneous intrusion is cut off a little bit, and that's an erosional surface. What kind of unconformity is this? You see the W, J, these layers are all parallel with this next one, the B and the F. So that is a disconformity. I just said disconf. After W comes T. And after T, it's simple now. B, F, and E. I continue right here, E. And after E comes the H. This is the H layer. But you can see that between those, so E and H, there is another unconformity. Because these layers coming up with an angle, this is also an angular unconformity. And then the very last layer here is the H. So the oldest one is P, comes M, L, K, then the fault A. There is an unconformity between K and R, and it's an angular. We already said that. After the unconformity comes R, J, and W. After the W comes in the T, intrusion. After that, there is an unconformity again, and that is actually a disconformity because the layers below and above are parallel, so it's disconformity. After E, which was the last of this low area here, there is another unconformity. And after that, and that's an angular because the layers coming up with an angle. And then after that comes age. That's the very last layer in this cross section. You have this area here, and you just have to write all these letters down to here. So you go from oldest to youngest, and remember the oldest is PML, so you will say PML K. This is how you have to do A, and you have to say A is a fault. And then after that, there is an unconformity, remember? And it's an angular. See, that was an angular unconformity. And and then comes RJW, and then T, which is the intrusion. And after the intrusion comes BFE. We could say that there is an unconformity here, which is really a disconformity. And then comes, see, that's the B, the right below the B, that's that disconformity. And then BFE, BFE, and there is an unconformity. It's going to be a angular unconformity. And then the very last layer is the age. So that's the last thing. Okay, so we just finished solving this problem right here. Okay. After we finish this problem, there is the next one, the number 2. And I'm not going to solve this with you, but I just want to point out that the M, see the Vicoli limes, remember that's the metamorphic rock. And just remember, what did we learn about the metamorphic rocks? Now, the unconformities also have a ladder. So when you write it here, you have to write it next to it that that's an unconformity. And also, what kind is it? It's between metamorphic and sedimentary, remember? Now, there is another granite here. You see the igneous signs. This is really basically a volcano right here. So it intruded in, and the surface might have no, because it actually pushed up this layer. So you can figure this out. There is the other unconformity right here, and then there is another one right here. Remember what happens here? What kind of unconformity? That's another igneous intrusion. And see, it's going all the way through. So you really have to figure out what is what. Then you have the other one, this one. This is not very complicated either. So as you can see, the rock symbols, here you got this is igneous right here. That's the F is the metamorphic. And then there is another intrusion, the M, which goes into this R layer. Don't forget to look at the big fault line here, the K. It basically went through everything. So make sure that you understand where to put that. If you have any question, you can always ask me if you text me. Probably this is the most complicated because you can see that there are different ages igneous rocks. See, the A goes through everything, the S, and then the E doesn't go that much. And there is another fault line here. So I hope you will see all of them. And then we're going to come to the geologic time, which is going to be another help video. So good luck with it. If you need any help, just let me know. See you guys.